This is James Lutton for Pro Boxing Fans. Delighted to be joined today on Zoom with Mauricio Sulaiman once again. Mauricio, how are you?
Fine, James. Thank you so very much. I'm very happy to be speaking with you.
No worries at all. Thank you for your time. Let's start off with some latest news on Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder. There's talk of the fight being postponed again to next year, and some promoters aren't best pleased about it. What do you know on that?
I have absolutely no information, and we have our annual convention, which will address every single division, and that's when we will be addressing every specific topic.
Now, the convention, of course, is this week as well. But going back onto that fight, Bob Arum and Frank Warren have come out and said they don't want the fighters to face their mandatories. They want Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua to go ahead and fight each other. Now, again, last few weeks you have made a statement to say Dillian Whyte will face the winner of Fury Wilder. Where do you stand, and what's your response to those guys' comments about that they feel the mandatories don't matter really?
That's anyone is free to say whatever they want to say, and the WBC has rules and regulations, and we have made it clear what is our position, and there's no change whatsoever.
So can you enforce the fight happening, or is it, as they say, unifications trump the mandatories?
I'm not going to entertain any comments. I have to continue the WBC's path. We have our annual convention, which is where the WBC board decides every specific topic, and that will be this next Thursday.
Absolutely. Let's move on to a friend of yours, Mike Tyson, obviously exhibition against Roy Jones Jr. We now know the opponent. When we last spoke, we didn't know who it was going to be against. And that one has been postponed a little bit later in the year to November. With that, again, with it being Roy Jones Jr., what are your thoughts on the exhibition? I know you was very positive towards it when Mike Tyson said he was going to come out for an exhibition.
Well, it's a great situation for the sport. It has captured the attention of the world, and Mike Tyson is an icon in boxing. And it's just something that people are looking forward to. So now it has been postponed for November, and we will see what happens. This is good intentions. They want to do this for charity, and this promotes entertainment and boxing. So I'm very happy that they will be doing an exhibition between two icons of the sport.
And the last time we spoke, we discussed there will be medicals in place. They will need to pass those medicals as if a professional would have to, although it's just an exhibition. Now, somebody had asked me to ask you, will there be any VADA or other drug testing for this exhibition?
Well, this is an event that will take place in California, and they have one of the best commissions in the whole world. The California State Athletic Commission has complete standards, best as anyone for the safety of the fighter. So the examinations, I'm sure that will be thorough and will be all the way to the limit. Regarding the testing, I'm not sure if they're going to do any testing. It's an exhibition, but I'm certain that they will look into it, and I hope that they do the VADA testing, which is the best in the world.
Absolutely. I just wanted to go on to a fight. Your women's WBC title was contested for just last week. Natasha Jonas in a closely fought match against the champion Terry Harper. First of all, reflection on that fight.
Sensational. I'm happy to see a woman get notoriety worldwide. It was a draw. It was a highly contested, good quality event, and I'm very happy for them. I'm happy for women's boxing, for boxing overall, and for Arum to putting events in the platform, which is very important. This Saturday, Cecilia Bracos will be the headline also in the United States through Matchroom. So I'm very happy to see that women are getting the due recognition that they all deserve.
Just to touch finally on that fight itself, Natasha Jonas has come out on another interview and said that your organisation, WBC, they are looking at the potential of making her the mandatory for that title to enforce a rematch with Terry Harper. Can you shed any light on that? Is that the case?
We'll be discussing the mandatories as well during the convention. I spoke to her and congratulated her on a great event, and she requested a rematch. So, of course, we will look into it, and that will be discussed on Thursday.
You also mentioned a moment ago how pleased you are that the recognition that the women's boxing is getting now. A lot of people are saying about 3-minute rounds to be on par with the men's boxing, but also some fighters have come out and said, what about increasing the pay for women's fighting? Where do you stand on both those points?
I stand by medical research, medical information. WBC will never do anything that is against the safety of the fighter. The WBC has been known for so many actions to make boxing safer. We reduced from 15 to 12 rounds. And we took the 3 most dramatic rounds away from the fans. That's a fact. But those 3 rounds were a very high price for the safety of the fighters. We have saved many deaths, and we have saved the dignity of the fighters when they retire, because those 3 last rounds were very hurtful to the body and the mind and everything of a fighter. Women have a different physiology than men, and that's why the rounds are structured for 2 minutes, because you reduce fatigue, you reduce dehydration in the period of time. It has nothing to do with sexism or with opportunities. Every single sport has different guidelines. In golf, women tee off from a different starting point. In basketball, the ball's smaller, etc. We will not do any changes until there is medical research that would allow such a decision. It is a fact that fatigue is the most important, added with dehydration for an injury. Factual research shows that women have 80% more danger of concussion for whatever reason. There's a different complexity in the neck area, and also women have a menstrual period, which has to do with the hormones and different things. So we have an agreement with UCLA to do specific research on boxing, and until the time there's a guarantee that there's no danger to make a change, we will not entertain that. And women boxing is so exciting. When the bell rings, that's 2 rounds, non-stop action. So the format is sensational for the sport, for the activity, and it has nothing to do. You can knock out your opponent. You don't need 3 minutes.
So I want to touch on, you said there, the reason for it essentially comes down to health regulations, which is an absolute valid and fair point. Well, I spoke to Jessica McCaskill, who is fighting Cecilia Brackott on Saturday, and she told me that she will spar 3-minute rounds in the gym. I understand and appreciate sparring is different to an actual fight night. However, is that not taking away the safety aspect by sparring that length of time?
You know, a boxer is a warrior. If you tell them to fight 50 rounds, 10-minute rounds, they will do it. They are willing to put their life on the line for whatever reason. We are the ones in charge of making sure that we have rules and guidelines to protect them from themselves. So nothing will be more important than safety. And we have to do the safety matters for the athletes, because they're willing to do whatever they're asked to do.
Absolutely. I just want to talk about the convention. As you mentioned, it does start Thursday this week. By the time this video goes out, it will have started. For those who may not know or not familiar with the conventions, just tell us a little bit of a breakdown on what it is for you guys.
The WBC convention, which will begin tomorrow, is a yearly gathering. The boxing industry gets together for a week of tremendous activity with so many meetings. We review the ratings, we do the mandatory sessions, we do ring officials training and certification. We have the reports from all the committees from around the world in which we review what was done throughout the year and we set the plan of action for the following year. We award all those who deserve a special recognition. We have different workshops with the committees, medical committee, youth championship, ring officials, etc., etc. We do our WBC Cares visit, which is very humbling every year. And we do also a lot of social gathering. We have a talent show, which is very much fun. And we have the awards, dinners, and we have shows from the host country. So it's a very full week of activities which the boxing families from all over the world get together and use this WBC platform to do so. Now with the pandemic, we are forced to do it online. It would have been very easy to just cancel, but we're not easy. We have to get down and work. We need to get moving. And even though it's going to be a challenge to do a convention through a computer, I am very excited and motivated because it's going to be of a great level and great interaction.
I was going to ask you because it's meant to be in St. Petersburg, Russia this year. And this year, as you mentioned, it will be virtually. How hard has it been to set this up all online and get everything in line to make it work?
Oh, it's been a good nightmare. Non-stop work every single day. Right now, I'm here, and we're setting up. You can see the production. The office has turned into a TV studio. We're not a TV production company, and now we have to be doing all this, but I'm very excited about it.
Absolutely. We'll talk about a couple more things of yourself. So a fight coming up next week for your heavyweight interim title, Dillian Whyte, Alexander Povetkin. Just how much of a big fight is this?
Well, it's a very, very big fight for a number of reasons. I would say this is the first real world championship fight taking place in the world. It's a real challenge. Alexander Povetkin, a former champion, is a dangerous opponent. And Dillian Whyte has everything to prove and everything to lose in this fight. So it's a tremendous fight. I'm very excited about it. Unfortunately, due to travel restrictions, I will not be there. But otherwise, I would have been supporting our interim champion and supporting Povetkin, who has been associated to the WBC. He's a former silver champion and a tremendous fighter. So it's a very good fight.
Just for a bit of clarification, will the winner of that fight become the mandatory for the full title, as it currently Dillian Whyte? If Povetkin wins, will he then go on to be the mandatory challenger?
Yes, that is correct. The winner is the mandatory contender, the interim champion and mandatory contender. And it's a tremendous event.
Fantastic. What have you made of boxing's return since the pandemic? Obviously, it's back in America, first top rank with the first guys back, and more recently in the UK with Eddie Hearn and Frank Warren. What have you made of its return?
Well, it's a great effort that they are all doing to promote under these circumstances. It's very much challenging and difficult and stressful. The multiple testing, the travel, the protocols that you have to have in place for every single matter. If promoting before was complicated, now it's very much more. And my hats go off to them. I applaud them. Anyone who's doing their best effort to keep the sport alive has to be recognized, and the WBC will fully support every single action that has to do with promotional and aspects of the sport.
And just want to talk about Teofimo Lopez and Vasily Lomachenko. Lomachenko, your franchise champion. There seems to be a few stumbling blocks in that. Again, do you know any information on that? Do you know if that is a fight that will happen next, or there have been other names thrown in the mix for Lomachenko?
Well, the information I have is that they will fight October 3rd. I hope that happens. There's speculations going all over the place, but what I know is that the fight is on. I hope it is on. It's a tremendous fight, and it will be part of a great activity in the lightweight division. So let's hope they do it.
And with Lomachenko, the reports today have said that he is looking to or willing to take a pay cut to make the fight happen. Looks like it's to secure his legacy in the sport. Just how great will Lomachenko be looking back in, say, 20 years' time?
He's a sensational, unique fighter, legendary. He's building his legacy. And but Teofimo Lopez is not an easy opponent. He's a tremendous puncher. It's a tremendous fight. Lomachenko has defeated a great opposition, and Teofimo is nonetheless perhaps the most dangerous fighter he will ever face.
Sticking with the lightweight division, Luke Campbell, Ryan Garcia, and there was talks that it had been agreed, then it come out saying it wasn't agreed. A bit in limbo with that at the moment. Again, can you shed any light on that? What do you know of that fight?
We have a purse bid in 2 hours from now. It will be the first ever purse bid in Zoom, by video conference, but we're waiting. They were supposed to reach an agreement. They were both camps seemed like they will reach an agreement, but we're waiting for news or for the purse bid in 2 hours.
And then just finally, it was meant to be Fortuna Linares. Linares did test positive for COVID-19, so he is now out of that. It sounds like Hector Tanayara Jr. will be facing Fortuna. Will the diamond belt still be on the line?
We have not received a formal request. It is our position to do our best effort to support the promoters under any circumstances. We will see. I will not be an opposition because we have to understand what has happened throughout this time. Fortuna was ready to fight in January, started training camp. He was going to fight for the WBC title against Campbell with a signed contract. The pandemic comes along, then we changed to interim title. Then that fight, travel restrictions are all these things. And he got an opportunity to fight Linares. So he was excited, and it was a very good fight, a great fight. And then this happened. So we're going to support Fortuna. We're going to support the promotion. I have not been approached for any specifics, but what I can say right now, we will do our best to support whatever it takes.
If they don't approach you, if they don't request the title online, can you yourself as the president push for that to be on the line for Fortuna?
No, I don't need to push. A diamond belt is a recognition, is a special trophy for a fight. So it has to be a request from the promoters and the fighters. If the WBC supports an event, we're happy to do so. If it brings added value, if it brings entertainment and possibilities for the fighters, we do that. We're not going to go and push anything.
Fantastic. Mauricio, I really appreciate your time today. Thank you once again for speaking to Pro Boxing fans, and all the best of luck for the convention, and I'll see you there.
Thank you so much, and you're going to miss it, and hopefully you'll be there singing.
Absolutely. I'll be there. Don't worry. Thank you.